Hi everyone, and welcome to Heart Matters. I hope you are ready to enjoy another great show together. These stories and messages never get old because the hope of Jesus is alive and active in people's hearts. God continues to pour out His goodness, and we get to watch a little bit of it unfold right here each week. As we continue our series from Labrador, we're so glad to hear from a couple from Charlottetown, which is located on Labrador's south coast. Listen in as Gary and Elsie Russell share how God has been their anchor when their life was flipped upside down. Also joining us from the opposite side of the big land, we're thrilled to have Tanya and Troy Burton from Labrador City as today's musical guests. We hope this show is a blessing to you today. Enjoy.
Tells the sun to rise every morning, colors the sky with shades of His glory, wakes us with mercy and love. Jesus does. Who holds the orphan, comforts the widow, cries for injustice, feels every sorrow, carries the pain of His children. Jesus does. So we sing praise to the Father who gave us the Son, praise to the Spirit who's living in us. When I was a sinner, He saved me from who I was, 'cause that's what Jesus does. Who understands the heart of a sinner, showers His grace over all our mistakes, washes us clean with His blood. Jesus does. Who sings a song of sweet forgiveness, who stole the keys to hell and the grave, who has the power to save. Jesus does. So we sing praise to the Father who gave us the Son, praise to the Spirit who's living in us. When I was a sinner, He saved me from who I was. Oh, 'cause that's what Jesus does. Oh, what a friend. Oh, what a Savior. He's always been good. He's always been faithful. He came to my rescue when I needed Him most and saved my soul. So we sing praise to the Father who gave us the Son, praise to the Spirit living in us. When I was a sinner, He saved me from who I was. Oh, so we sing praise to the Father who gave us the Son, praise to the Spirit living in us. When I was a sinner, He saved me from who I was. Yeah, 'cause that's what Jesus does.
Heart Matters will return in just a moment.
Scott's Transport Limited is a family-owned and operated full transportation company located in beautiful Deer Lake. In business for over 25 years and with a fleet of modern equipment and dedicated team, we service the growing needs of businesses from Newfoundland and Labrador to Ontario and locations in between. If it matters to you, it matters to us.
RE/MAX would like to say thank you for allowing us to be a part of the most important transaction of your life. Our mandate is giving back to the communities that serve us. We will be honored to help you with your next move. Call any of our offices today and let one of our RE/MAX agents go to work for you.
Closed captioning provided by Terry's Tents, in business for 30 years, providing canvas fabrication, printing, embroidery, craft supplies, and more, located in Happy Valley, Goose Bay.
Hi, I'm Gary Russell. This is my wife, Elsie. I came to Charlottetown in 1975 as a teacher. In 1982, I married this young lady.
I'm from Charlottetown, born and raised here, actually. Most of my family lives here. My mom is still here. She's just turned 90. And yeah, I got a lot of relatives here. So we got married in 1982, February the 19th. And we were married over 9 years before we had our son. And he was born on June 26, 91.
You know, years go by so fast. Seemed like he was a baby. In short order, he was off to kindergarten. And then junior high school. In short order, he was off to college. And so I said, you go to Goose Bay. And said, you be able to come home on weekends? So that's what he did. He went to Goose Bay and had his year of college. May the 18th was a beautiful day here in Charlottetown. I had gone out and I put a new outboard motor on my boat. And I walked up over the stairs, and for some reason, I don't think I've ever done it before, I went right for the telephone. And I picked up the telephone, and there in succession was this number, 3 times in a row. So I picked up the phone, I called back that number. And on the other end was a girl. I didn't know her. She said, are you Russell's dad? That's what he used to call him in college, Russell. I said, I'm Russell's dad. She said, Russell and his 2 friends has just got over Muskrat Falls. I said, what do you mean got over Muskrat Falls? I thought Muskrat Falls was up around Churchill Falls somewhere. I didn't realize it was close to Goose Bay. She said, yeah, the boys have gone over Muskrat Falls. And I just froze. And I picked up the phone again and I rang back the number, and this time an RCMP officer came on. And actually it happened to be a friend of mine, Clifford Sampson, originally from Port of Simpson. I said, Cliff, what do you think? He said, Gary, do you want me to be honest? He said, honestly, I don't think there was a chance that he would ever survive. Feelings had all gone. I was just in shock, I guess. And the thing now, Elsie had just gone. She was in the house with depression for weeks on end. And this was her first day out. Had gone to her cousins to do something that she loves to do, and that's to fish for trout and char. And she got in there as I stand with the phone. I said, I've got to call her. And so everything seemed like it was a blur after that. And she came home and people were coming. Our house filled up. The old town was in shock. I still couldn't accept it because we were here in Charlottetown and this happened in Goose Bay, and I was expecting for him to probably get ashore and walk out of the woods. And I mean, even the first time we went down there, across the bridge, crossing Churchill River, and I was looking everywhere to see if he would come out of the woods. But as time went on, I knew there was no hope, and one of the young fellows was found. Ryan wasn't found, and days went on, weeks went on. I said to Elsie, we're not going to be able to stay here alone. I was so frightened. I said, God, I said, you've got to help us. I sat there and I made up my mind. I said, like, me just giving up and sitting back is not going to bring Ryan back. This is where the rubber meets the road. So I am determined. I will not become bitter. I'll have a lot of questions, but I will not become bitter. I said, God has been too good to me. I can remember the first time after the accident, and we were away from church for a long time. But I can remember the first Sunday night we came back, and the song leader, one of the songs he had, I'll keep trusting you. Even when you whispers I can't hear, I follow your plans for me, even though they're not clear. When I smile through tears, you know what I've been through. You're my comfort, Lord, and I'll keep trusting you.
When my plans have failed and everything's gone wrong, all my hopes, my dreams are gone. Satan's telling me that I won't make it through, but you're my comfort, Lord, and I'll keep trusting you.
And it's songs like that, and now that became one of our most precious songs. We decided that we were going to trust God no matter what. The first is always pretty difficult too. His first birthday, the first Christmas, we stayed to ourselves, didn't associate with anybody. But you put up the Christmas tree, wasn't it? Because Ryan loved Christmas. It's the most difficult thing to get up and go, but I started baby steps, and my wife started to get out around a bit. I didn't think she would ever survive. No.
Actually, I didn't either.
Because see, you had postpartum depression. I mean, there was probably months before we even got to really enjoy Ryan as a baby.
God's been really good. Like I haven't had any major times when I haven't been able to get out of the house since he's left us, really. So God has really blessed me, and it amazes me a lot.
Wife of our former pastor, she contacted me and she said, Gary, I want to tell you something. She said, I had a dream a few nights ago. Ryan came into church with his guitar on his back. She said he came into church and he walked to the front of the church. He sat on the altar, picked his guitar down, and he began to sing. It is well with my soul. I said, God, if you've taken him, he's in heaven today. I said, I am satisfied to live with the loneliness without a child. Don't worry about Ryan. Ryan is in my presence. And we started to smile a bit, and his life was so beautiful. And we have so many great memories. And those 18 years of Ryan being with us is the most treasured years of our marriage. He lived more in his 18 years than a lot of people lives in a lifetime. He loved to hunt, fish, trap, sports in school. He was on every high school sports team. Hockey, volleyball, table tennis, badminton, and he was a true athlete and a sportsman. He had the closest group of friends you would ever find. I mean, small school, they were all buddy, and they spent countless hours in our basement carrying on, and I love to see them there, because if they're there, you know they're out doing other things, and even now, I talked to one of his friends on the ice fishing this spring. And he said, when we are going around, Ryan's name is always in the conversation. Ryan's best friend in college from Makovic had a baby, called me and wanted to call him after Ryan. And at 6.5 months old, he came to Charlottetown. I built a place for him to live. He got a job in Voisey's Bay, and Ryan came out to live with us. And he's been with us ever since. He will not go anywhere without Nana and Papa. and just amazing how God comes true in your lowest hour. And we sung this morning, the God of the mountain is still God in the valley. And that's the thing that we have to go on. And do you know what? I get up in the morning now, and I say, I am the most blessed person on the face of this earth. Now, that might be difficult for some people to understand. Like we are now, like, we love for Ryan's friends to be coming and telling about all the good memories, and we laugh and we carry on, we joke and so on. And you can get there. You can get there. And we found that putting our trust in God is what gotten us where we're at today.
Lean on God and ask Him to help you, and He will. It hasn't been easy. We've been down this road quite a while now, but He'll make the road smoother for you.
The greatest loss you'll ever experience in your life is the loss of a child. You don't think you'll ever move on from it. And I always say that when it comes to grief, there's no one size fits all. Everybody grieve in their own way. Myself and Elsie, we are two different people, grieve differently. At the moment, you don't think you'll ever get over it, and that's normal for you to feel that way. But I believe with time, with friends, maybe counseling, and with us was with God, and I believe God is for us, was the answer, is the answer. God can handle the questions, so you don't mind, and you don't mind Gary Russell getting angry. You don't mind Gary Russell saying, I'm not going to do it anymore if you don't. You've heard it all. Amazing how God comes true in your lowest hour. Man, God has been good.
People are at the core of what Heart Matters is all about. And you, our viewers, are the most important of all. That's why we'd love to hear from you. Why not stop by our website and let us know how the show has impacted you? Or maybe you know of someone who would be a great guest for the show. Either way, we'd love to hear about it. I also invite you to follow us on social media to stay in the loop of the week-to-week happenings here. Still to come in today's show, The Bottom Line with Mike Freake, and more music from Tanya Burton when Heart Matters returns.
Looking for a quiet, clean, and economical place to stay in central Newfoundland? Emmanuel Convention Center offers hotel and motel rooms, cabins, bunk rooms, and RV lots. We are a family-friendly site featuring nature trails, a playground, and sporting areas. Give us a call today.
From envelopes to tractor-trailer loads, Dooley's Trucking caters to all your shipping needs. Capable of meeting all your shipping requirements throughout Newfoundland. Dooley's Trucking is your choice for fast and efficient delivery, Ship with the best. Ship Dooley's.
My name is Brandon Lee Mullet. I'm the owner here at Gander Appliance and Furniture, and I'd like to welcome you to our new showroom right here in Gander.
We carry a wide variety of furniture brands, including Canadian-made Decorest, Canadel Dining, and a large variety of Ashley furniture. We also carry major appliance brands such as Bosch, Maytag, and Whirlpool. Come visit us at 60 Armstrong Boulevard in Gander or 1 Fairview Street in Lewisport.
How many of you are old enough that you might remember the Promise Box? We had one growing up. Sometimes they'd be made out of wood or plastic in the shape of a loaf of bread. It was a small box filled with Bible verses, each containing a promise that you pull out each day to remind you of what God has promised you. You know, many people would start their day by pulling out a promise. I think it's a great way to start a day. Years ago, promise rings were very popular. Remember those? If not, a guy who was in love with a girl, but maybe he was too young or wasn't settled in life, didn't have enough money, so he'd give a promise ring to her as a commitment that one day when he could afford it, he'd get a real engagement ring. It was essentially a promise for a future promise. Or for those of you who are married, remember standing before the minister in the church and before God, family, and friends and making a promise that no matter what, you would always be faithful, true, forsaking all others in sickness and in health, as long as you both shall live. Remember that moment? Now, as much as I hoped and prayed that every wedding that I officiated, that they kept that promise, but that is certainly not the case. Not everyone does. All you need to do is go to eBay, NL Classifieds, or Newfoundland Buy and Sell, and you will quickly find people selling wedding or engagement rings. Why? Because someone somewhere broke a promise. Every one of those posts is a promise that was broken. Of course, we all know that we live in a world of broken promises. We see and experience it all the time. There's not one person watching today that has not had someone say that they would keep their word and have not disappointed us. Family, friends, leaders, politicians, and the list goes on and on. Did you know that the Bible is full of promises? Actually, there are over 7,000 promises that God makes from Genesis to Revelation. Of course, there are many promises that are specific for individuals or nations, but the majority of them are promises for each and every one of us. Promises for you today. Now, I know that when you hear that, you might be automatically thinking, yeah, right. But it's true. Your heart might be jaded and guarded because someone has disappointed you. You might even feel like God Himself has disappointed you. Maybe you feel like God didn't answer your prayer in the time or in the way that you thought it should have played out. But regardless of whatever it is you might be dealing with, there is a specific promise that you can hold on to. You feel alone? God promises to always be with you. You feel scared? God promises to never leave you. You feel weak? He promises to give you strength. You feel tired? He promises to give you rest. You feel sad? He promises to comfort you. You feel forsaken by your friends? He promises to never forsake you. And the list of His promises go on and on and on. Why? Because God is a promise-keeping God. And that's the bottom line.
Come out of hiding, you're safe here with me. There's no need to cover what I already see. You've got your reasons, but I hold your peace. You've been on a lockdown and I hold the key. 'Cause I've loved you before, you knew what was love. I saw it all, still I chose the cross. You were the one Just throw off your fear and come running to me. Oh, 'cause I've loved you before. You knew what was love. I saw it all. Still I chose the cross. You were the one that I was thinking of when I rose from the grave. Now rid of the shackles, my victory is yours. I tore the veil for you to come close. There's no reason to stand at a distance anymore. You're not far from home. Come out of hiding, you're safe here with me. There's no need to cover what I already see. You've got your reasons, but I hold your peace. You've been on a lockdown and I hold the key. 'Cause I've loved you before. You knew what was love. I saw it all. Still I chose the cross. You were the one that I was thinking of when I rose from the grave. Now rid of the shackles, my victory is yours. I tore the veil for you to come close. There's no reason to stand at a distance anymore. You're not far from home. 'Cause I loved you before. You knew what was love. I saw it all. Still I chose the cross. And you were the one that I was thinking of when I rose from the grave.
Tanya just sang, "There's no reason to stand at a distance anymore. You're not far from home." Maybe you've been tiptoeing around Jesus for a while. You feel him drawing you close, but you just haven't given in yet to surrendering your heart to him. Or maybe you find yourself in a situation like Gary and Elsie did, where life events have caused you to distance yourself from God. Whatever your circumstance, I want you to know that you are not far from home. The Bible says that he is as close as the mention of his name. Call on him today and see if he doesn't meet you where you are with open arms. I want to give a special thank you to our guests, Gary, Elsie, Troy, and Tanya, for blessing all of us here today. I also thank all of you for tuning in, and we'll hopefully see you again next week.